am a messenger of light. I am a pilgrim on the way of love. I do not walk alone, but I know myself as one with all great souls, and one with them in service. Their strength is mine. This strength I claim. My strength is theirs, and this I freely give. A soul, I walk on earth. I represent the One.
So I would assume, even though new, you're probably well aware of the esoteric teachings, 7 rays, and the process of probably some of my video teachings they've seen, and so we're gonna, in the process of the meditation, we're gonna focus on the Om. We're gonna do the Om for 20 minutes. We're gonna focus on an invocation, evocation. And we're going to do an alignment, which is I invoke the power, the love, the wisdom, of our ashram, soul, and monad. In all of this, we're actually working to connect together as above, so below. The influences of daily reality, which is constantly down here in this quagmire, this daily influence of reality, And it's all based on personality. It's all based on the perspective of mind, but it really does encapsulate controlling power structure over elements. How elements evolve and express themselves. And when we're in this personality, we're not aware of the fact that we have a direct connection to each other in all things, and that our thoughts, if they're not liberated, we're not liberating, and that in our feelings, if we can't feel, we can't help another person feel, So it's all about, how the elements are playing through us, and how we represent the process for those elements to be risen, to rise up, and to go beyond the limitation of elemental control. Because the whole process of elements is their nature of control. Their nature of, like in this, we look at this constitution of man, it actually shows the process of the mental body, emotional body, and the physical body. But here in the emotional body, it shows the astral plane. And in the mental body, it shows a cosmic connection, a possibility to the divine, And its influence can directly influence all the way down into the physical and the emotional through the energy of the mental body, So it's not what you see in front of you that matters, It's not what you think is going on, It's not what you what you believe to be what was the past or what is the representation of the present. Yeah, that's not really the truth. Yeah, that's your made-up scenario. That's your process and your personality. So in meditation and in everything that I do, I'm trying to influence, if you go up a little higher, yeah, through the mind. And the mind is directly connected to your physical body. It's connected to your emotional body. It's connected to your lower mental body. Yeah. But the mind, if you see the triangle, the mind, not the mental, but the mind itself, can connect directly through a divine grace that goes through intuition and manifests through spiritual will, this energetic process. That's the Buddhaic plane. Yeah? And in that Buddhaic plane, there's a whole other person. Yeah? You're another being. Yeah? You're not the person you are here in this world. Yeah? The world is not the world that you're in. Yeah? Yeah? You could be in 1700s and you really think that's the world that you're in. That's where you're at. This is what you're doing. Yeah? But on a spiritual level, what if on a spiritual level, there is this unlimited imaginary world that allows you to imagine things with your mind, yeah? And allows you to use intuition to pick up another existing world, a world that coexists with our world, yeah? And could it be possible that that world is actually bigger, stronger, yeah, much more together, yeah, much more evolved, a lot more connected to it. Because if you go up, if you look at the mental body and you keep going up, yeah, that's a lot. From there at the mind going all the way up to the divine, that's a lot of stuff, yeah, and then go down, mental body, yeah, emotional body, physical body, that's little. That's really small, yeah? So in this world, in our mind, in the elemental process of it, it holds on to a belief system, yeah, that's called the personality. It personifies what you believe to be reality, yeah? And the limitations that are placed on reality come back on you and manifest the cause of limitations. Yeah? You're not the cause of the limitation, you're just the limitation. Does that make sense? Kind of tripped out, but that's just the way it is. Yeah? Yeah? Because in our physical, emotional, and mental world, we have this astral plane here in this physical body. And our elements build up inside that. Yeah? And we have in our mind limitations. We have physical beliefs that, oh, we're going to die. We're going to get this. Oh, we see everybody. Yeah? We look at this person and say, oh, that's like me, or that's like Carrie, or that's like Jim, you know, and we stereotype and we put limitations on things, yeah? On every single level of activity, of behavior, and action, and every single thing that has to do with all existing life, yeah? Our mind puts a stereoscopic limitation on it, yeah? Really brings it down to very small little areas, yeah? If we're in the 1700s, it has that. If we're in the 1800s, it has that. If it's in the 1900s, it has that. But on top of it, through our mind, through telepathy and intuition, we can actually receive the creative aspects of creative active intelligence of the Holy Spirit. And all of this up here is our dharma and our activity into our relationship that goes in to the process of the ashram. Yeah? This is our personality down here. This is our ashram up here. And throughout all of our evolution, all the time that we spent on this earth, we've only built up to the point of personality. We have no idea what's coming. Yeah? And it's so much bigger than what has been. Yeah? So to get this to release, to get this to go, it requires the influence that happens in our history. The process of the avatar, the process of the Christ, the process of the Buddha. If you look at the life of Buddha, before Buddha was Gautama Buddha, yeah, he was Nama Buddha, yeah. And as Nama Buddha, no one knows of Nama Buddha, yeah. He's just this young guy, 18, 19 years old, hanging out in the forest, nothing to do. He happens to be incarnated as a bodhisattva, so he's totally enlightened, at birth, yeah. And he's just going through his phase of his process, coming from way up here, because everything is his ashram. Everything he meets. Yeah, every animal he meets, every person he meets, every incident, every scenario he meets isn't because he's the actual Buddha. He's the manifestation of the avatar. He represents all of it down through personality. So his personal reality that goes on in his personal life subjects him to the process of receiving humanity and divinely raising them up into a higher level of reality, yeah? So his very process, yeah? So he just like hanging out, nothing to do, yeah? And he sees this lion, and it's got babies and cubs, and it's hurt, and it can't get up and move around and go feed its cubs, you know? And poor Nama Buddha, he's like crying, can't sleep, he doesn't know what he's gonna do. He's sad every day, every night, you know, he keeps going back, he sees this, it's getting worse, you know, so he figures, just cut my arm off. Give my arm to it, you know, let it eat that, yeah? Because that's the only thing he can come up with. Because this is his scenario. This is how it works out, yeah? Because he's dealing with how it works in relationship to the reality of the avatar. The avatar actually is there to offer what it takes in order to make the difference, yeah? So even though it's telescopic, down to a tiny little tiny little event, you know, with a lion and cubs and the avatar. It's actually the event that encompasses the entire process that when we begin to wake up, we're picking up the life of the avatar, the life of Buddha, the events of Buddha that saved all of humanity. Yeah? Letting the tiger eat him, letting the Jews put him on a cross. Yeah? Letting everybody behave the way they did as Krishna, and him end up with no friends, no recognition, no nothing, yeah, and go through that process, yeah. Every time the incarnation of the avatar comes, it's an offering, yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. So in our society, in our world, we think that humanity is the offering, yeah. We make offerings, we offer our goats, we offer our vegetables, we offer, this and that, yeah? That's always the scenario inside of religion. But the real reality is that that's not how it's happening. The real happening reality is that God offers God's only Son and offers that reality from heaven on earth so that heaven and earth can come together. That's the merging, yeah? That's how the two make a connection, between the two. And there's this constant evolutionary process. So imagine we go through this process where we begin to meditate, and we do invocations, evocations, and humanity is totally unaware of these incarnations, these events, and this aspiring reality of planetary ascension, the healing of the planet. But in the process of it, the planetary logos is still going through the process of giving offerings, even though we're not aware. That's planetary logos. That's what the planetary logos does on a daily basis, is give offering, constantly give offering. In the process of that, if that comes to meditation, then we're actually connecting the mind through intuition. And we're allowing a cycle of influence to come into humanity that is totally different than any other time before. It blends together, not just our emotional body, mental body, physical body, and it takes care of the process of humanity thinking that they're the ones, am I pure enough? Am I high enough? Am I good enough? Have I sacrificed what I need to sacrifice? Have I done the merit, in order to be saved? Can I be redeemed from the sins that I've made? It has nothing to do with any of that. Yeah? There is a bigger world going on than the shit that goes on here. Yeah? And in this bigger world, from what you can see through your mind and above you, intuitionally blessing you and merging you and giving you a plan to work out this process, yeah? It's all going on in the little world, telescopically down to this little tiny world of the avatar happening on a much larger scale, simultaneously, while the two are going on. Yeah? Does that make sense? Yeah? Yeah. So, in meditation, our hope is that we blend the two of these together and we make that connection mentally, emotionally, and physically by the science of invocation, evocation. Yeah? So through the Om, we're connecting to the heart center. We're connecting the heart center to right chakras so that they align, so that they move in their way upward. Yeah? And while we're doing that Om, if we do it for the 20-minute period, we're actually resonating consistently, holding a resonatory frequency consistently as a group. And that helps to increase our lower mind to be higher mind and not thinking so much and not have so many things we got to do or, things we think we're offering. Yeah? Because we're not. We're being healed. Yeah? Shit in people's being taken on. Yeah? It's not what's being offered. Yeah? It's what's being absorbed through the process. And the planetary logos is just absorbing and getting closer, merging down through the mind into the emotional body and into the physical body and effectively healing the planet. Does that make sense? Yeah? Because as far as everybody knows, mentally, we can't figure out whether or not the planetary logos exists, God exists, or anything like that. It's all theoretical. Yeah? So it's obviously something that's above us. Yeah, it's not necessarily something we can tap into. So during this process, that's our process, is to evoke, and bring that into initiation. Yeah. Alrighty, so let's do some meditation. And we got our little vajras here. We get to connect up to the great big pyramid out here. So I'm going to do the Om 3 times, yeah? A-U-M, Om. And then Om 3 times, yeah? And then I'm going to invoke this invocation, yeah? The alignment. And you repeat after me every sentence, yeah? And then at the end of that, we're going to wait just a little bit. And then we're going to do a 20-minute meditation. That's going to be only on the Om. I'll do the Om. We're going to all focus on our breathing. The breathing has to be really deep. Yeah, has to be consistent. Yeah, even when you're not doing the Om, you want to continue trying to breathe and make it consistent throughout the entire process of this meditation. Invocation, evocation, all of it is the meditation. Yeah, so we're just if you imagine that when every time we do this, we're aligning to a process that of dharmic activity that could be going on that most of all of humanity has missed it. They missed the dharmic activity of the planetary logos all the way up to today. Yeah? It's not in history. It's not known. People missed the guy. They might have met him, but kind of didn't know it. Then they rewrote it, all that kind of stuff. All throughout history, that's the event. So my work is to try and clarify the mind so that you can possibly connect into the reality of the present situation and let it manifest into the realities for your future situation, yeah? So that you have a greater and greater, clearer telepathy, and your spontaneous actions are not to be non-complementary, yeah? Which is a spontaneous reaction, like questioning, I don't know, seems right, I don't know, I'll think about it, doesn't feel right with me, let's see how this works. That kind of thing, yeah. So, in the process of the offering, the planetary logos, make it an offering, yeah. So, if we look at the evolutionary cycle within all of humanity goes through the process of going from unhealthy to healthy, yeah. Going through the process where their energetic body is not attuned to the process of their a higher form of nature, yeah, that controls the glamours and allows things to move in right direction. But it's not like some kind of you fix this and this will do that, yeah. Take this out and put this in, yeah, that'll fix it, yeah. Take this pill and that'll alleviate this problem, yeah. It's not like that, yeah. It's more like the reality. If we have unhealthy and healthy, in the healthy, we have the process of the merging of heaven and earth in one vehicle, yeah. It's an actual energetic principle that's established in the process of that healthy expression, yeah. As the chakras go up, it also shows chakras in different formation, yeah. Not just chakras going up or chakras going down. That would go along with the theory, well, there's a left spin and we get negative, and there's a right spin and we get positive. But then again, there's these chakras and they are in a different state of alignment, yeah. And that's because when in this lower nature, the nature itself is a totally other being, yeah. It's not the same. It's a completely other being. So imagine planetary logos constantly comes in this healthy chakric nature and expresses things that are not understood by this other side over here, yeah. So in trying to express things, trying to explain things as they are trying to be worked out, the healthy side, it goes through processes where it has to go through, like going on the cross, being eaten by tigers, making decisions and going through processes that include sacrifice, that don't hold on to things as so important, yeah. And like, who am I? What am I here for? Am I supposed to be a genius? Am I not a genius? All these kind of things that are over here in this unhealthy vehicle are not necessarily happening in this healthy vehicle. This healthy vehicle is expressing extreme healthiness and vitality and discernment and discrimination. So it has to deal with that process, yeah? And so like in Gautama's period, they cover him up, make him think that there's no such thing as death, old age, or unhealthiness, yeah? So, and they write this story as though they were able to cover it up, as though he wasn't bright enough, enlightened enough to realize, that that's probably not true, yeah, and to be shocked by, oh, what is that unhealthiness? What is that? Oh, old age. Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, death. What is that? Oh, shock, yeah. That is not the experience of the avatar. That's not the way it's experienced, from birth all the way through, yeah? So the story isn't really the truth. It doesn't really represent what the truth is, yeah? So there's an offering inside that story. There is a process inside that story that has to do with the avatar and the offering, yeah? So there's a limited ability for humanity to be able to express or see or understand, until the offerings come through and transform, transfigure, and transcend the lack of ability to express. Yeah, express would be the monad expressing through the soul, yeah, and developing characteristics, character, yeah, developing merit and good understanding, but not just being a good person, but literally being, if you're male, you're being extremely male, and you have all these male responses, natural male responses, yeah? And they're not cut off by any kind of energetic process that keeps them, like in this unhealthy side, you have too many hard rays working on one area, in areas, and the soft rays not functioning in another area. It's just totally dysfunctional, yeah? Where on here in the healthy side, you have both soft and hard rays working in exact complementation on how they're to express. So what you get is sensitivity, yeah? Over here, because the chakras are not in alignment, you will automatically, the symptom will be insensitivity. Does that make sense? So constantly, you're going to always be going, I'm trying to make sense out of this. Yeah. Your mind is thinking like that because it's insensitive. Yeah. The emotion is going, I'm okay now, but I'm not okay in a minute. Yeah. It might be okay now, might not, I don't know. My emotions kind of sway. Yeah. Kind of go back and forth. Yeah. And that is totally the process of the personality, not the process of the expression of the soul or the manifestation of the soul physically incarnated. Yeah. It's that emotional wavering. Yeah. It's those chakras that are manifested in this unhealthy pattern. Yeah. So when we meditate, and during all these invisible incarnations of the avatar, which whether we're aware of or we're not, they're still happening on a day-to-day basis. So cyclically, these things are manifesting through our life. And as we work with geomancy or we start working with meditation, we're going to actually pass from one system, unhealthy chakras, to more healthy, simply because we're going from one influence of the Kali Yuga, the influence of complete insensitivity to the point of glamour, and to the point where Antichrist manifests. Not just, I don't agree, I'm kind of insensitive and I'm not sure about you. It's to the point where what you say, I say the opposite. What you do, I do the opposite. Anti. Does that make sense? So that's going to be the outcome for the process of humanity, is the healing energy within humanity that carries this ray package, that is the complete non-complementary process of the offering of the planetary logos. So in giving geomancy and working on all this stuff, it actually creates, the planetary logos creates an offering within the system to calm down the lack of soul, the lack of sensitivity, the lack of ability to be slightly integrated for at least a small period of time, so that the offering can take hold. Yeah? Because Christ can come and say, okay, I'm going to give you teachings, I'm going to show you how you do healings, I'll raise the dead and all that. Made those offerings, but, right along as they're happening, somebody's going, bullshit, that's much crap, and kill the person that's just been resurrected, do all this kind of stuff. Or have Buddha come and the moment he dies, start rewriting everything he said about the fact that, oh, look, he's enlightened, he doesn't have to reincarnate again, we don't need a Buddha. Yeah? And, all these processes come in as an anti-Christ reflection on how humanity works in their process of receiving these blessings. Does that make sense? Yeah? So, in this period of time, we're going through a shift from one Kali Yuga to another Kali Yuga, and in the transformation of things, using these geometric forms and helping to focus on meditation can help us get through this transition, and make it possible for the planetary logos to make an offering and actually receive in the moment, in physical presence, complementary interaction rather than counteraction. Non-complementary interaction, or counteraction. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. So things start growing, things start saving, things start changing. So anyway, thank you for coming to meditate, and thank all of you for coming onto the TV and watching this little meditation. Try and meditate as often as you can. Yeah, once a day is great. If you can meditate with me once a week, or if I do it twice a week, which isn't that often anymore, but I'm going to do it as often as I can, and I'm able to at least make it once a week. So do that, keep growing in numbers, and we'll increase this process of being able to respond and react to the influence of the offering. And not about you, whether or not, have you done the right thing? Are you doing the right thing? Are you the one making offerings? Things like that. Are you the one to receive, able to receive offering is the main thing. Yeah. And that's what the healing's for. Yeah. Is to make that possible. All right. Oh, enjoy.
Thank you.
Have a good one.